Hockey is a really weird sport. I mean, after all, grown men and women skate with knives on their feet, their face unprotected with weapons in their hands. It is a beautiful sport. It's a unique sport, but it sure does have some oddities when you sit back and look at it from afar. So let's go ahead and talk about the top 10 oddities and weird questions that we see come up in the game of hockey. Everything from missing teeth to dented Stanley Cups to the complete oddity and wackiness that are goalie rituals. What really is going on? And let's crack that code if we can. Number 1. Why do hockey players always have missing teeth? This question comes up time and time again in my ventures as a hockey coach with Hockey Canada, especially with new hockey fans down south or in Canada. It's really quite simple. Hockey is one of, if not the last sport left that I can think of where full face protection isn't required. And if you're Canadian or American playing in the major junior ranks or the tier 1 junior ranks, you can actually take off your cage by age 16 when playing in the CHL or the USHL. Now, this rule is going away like the dodo did, and eventually I think we'll be at a time where you will have to be an adult in order to wear a half visor. And I do think there will be a time in my lifetime where hockey players, even in the NHL, will require full facial protection. I mean, before you all roast me in the comments, and please go down below and leave a comment. It helps with this video. Think about it for half a second. Lacrosse players, one of the toughest sports out there, full face protection. Football players, arguably the toughest sport out there. Next to hockey, of course, full face protection. And neither of those sports, well, one of those sports has a weapon in their hand, but they don't have knives on their feet. They're not playing at the speed that hockey players are playing at, yet their face is fully protected. Most of the time, hockey players lose teeth for one reason: errant sticks. It's not anything purposeful in the modern era. It's usually a stick that comes up, clips you in the chiclets, and you end up taking out one on the bench like you see right here. The second reason that it ends up happening is a puck. Players normally aren't shooting high. They're shooting mid-waist or down for tips and deflections. But plenty of times pucks get up and can take out an entire row of chiclets, and sometimes it happens like it did here with Duncan Keith. The third reason, and the reason I think people think is the most common, but I would argue is now the least common, is fighting is still part of the game in hockey. And at times, a punch, an elbow, a fist, maybe even a forearm can get in the wrong way and take out a tooth. The unique thing about this game, though, is that it happens to players 16 and older at the highest levels right now. It has even happened to yours truly, where an errant stick came up. Ice is slippery. A player fell. The stick flew up in the air. 5 bottom teeth. Gonzos. Luckily, I was young enough to put them back in and keep this beautiful smile and my existing chiclets. But even today, in 2025, it's practically considered a badge of honor to have missing teeth. So much so that arguably the most famous TV show, Shoresy, the main actor, had his tooth removed to play the part. Do a little bit of detective work down below if you want to fact check that one. Number 2, goalies are weird. Remember that one. And I say that with all the love out there for a goalie because it takes a weird person to stop a frozen rubber disc coming at you at nearly 110 miles per hour. And on average, 80 miles per hour if you're ripping snapshots and slap shots all over that ice. Goalies' most important aspect to their game, by far, is their eyes. If the goalie can see the puck, the goalie is going to stop the puck, especially at the NHL level or the PWHL level. At any professional level or Olympic level of hockey, if a goalie can see it, they will stop it. So you will see exercises like you see here with Connor Hellebuck, where they're warming up their eyes. It looks odd to players and fans. You might ask yourself, what's this weird guy doing? They are getting their eyes trained to see those pucks at all types of random directions. And we know very well that goalies have to anticipate, unlike baseball players or other players in other sports, tips, deflections, and changes of direction quicker and harder than any curveball, slider, or sinker would ever be. These guys have to be on it, which is why so many players make it their mission to get in front of the goalie to take away their eyes. It allows you to score goals. You'll also see this wonderful clip here from Braden Holtby, where he is throwing up water, watching and counting each water droplet as it hits the ice. It allows his eyes to get a reset in between plays and becomes somewhat of a weird ritual for Holtby over the years, where every whistle, they don't catch it all the time on camera, you will see him squirt it up, count the water, watch it hit the ice, tap his post a couple times, and he's back out. But the thing to follow on your favorite goalie, because there are way too many to talk about here, notice it never changes. Their routine and their ritual between whistles, between periods before the game, it's always the same. So they may be weird, but there is method to their madness, and we're happy to have them. Number 3, why do hockey players fight? It's arguably one of the most exciting parts of the game. It's still the most controversial part of the game, and it's still part of the game. Although fighting has changed over the years, you used to have 2 willing combatants that would get a 5-minute major. We now have things like the instigator penalty or rules where the player is no longer allowed to take off their helmet or remove the helmet of another player on purpose. It can happen incidentally. These are all because we have seen injuries, concussions, players hit the ice, and it is very ugly when that occurs. But still today, fighting is part of the game, and it's really there for one reason. It's all about the momentum. It's a fear, it's an intimidation tactic, and it allows you to take control back for your team and your game. A well-timed fight for your team can really swing the momentum of an NHL hockey game or any hockey game. And then other times it can be used simply just as an intimidation tactic at all levels of hockey that allow fighting, which is usually some type of major junior, again, age 16 or older. Players and combatants will line up. The days of the original enforcer and these staged fights is almost all but gone at this point. But when you have so much adrenaline going, when you have so much passion going through you, and when someone frankly just does something you don't like, or maybe you just don't like that person, you go ahead and you drop the gloves. Unfortunately, in today's game, fighting is actually becoming less of a tool for sheriffs and on-ice enforcers to protect players and more becoming a little bit of a passionate or heat of the moment type exchange. It really is getting away from the ability of players to protect themselves, which is why you are starting to see players like Sam Bennett, Matthew Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, Tom Wilson use different tactics other than fighting, even though they're pretty good at it, in order to intimidate opponents. We have a video about that down below, so once you're done watching this one, you can go check out all about the violence in hockey if you enjoy this point. Number 4, why is the Stanley Cup always dented? Players are partying way too hard. First off, you are not allowed to touch the Stanley Cup if you're an NHL player, coach, general manager, or anyone who hopes to truly win it. It's just simply faux pas. If you have not won it and it is something you aspire to win, do not touch it. But once you do win it, the world's your oyster. Players will drink beer out of it. Players will throw it in pools. Players will throw it in the ocean. Usually Stanley Cup champions have that cup battered, dented, and sometimes even broken quite quickly after they win it. The parties are legendary. Alexander Ovechkin was known for having quite the summer with the cup amongst many other NHL greats. They simply polish it, put it back together, and get it out there. And a fun bonus fact to this one is there's actually 2 Stanley Cups. There's the one that sits at the Hockey Hall of Fame. This is the one that the players normally don't get. Sometimes that cup does end up at the Hockey Hall of Fame, and then they have one for the teams and for the players. You usually don't know which one you're looking at if you're a fan in the moment, unless someone with really in-depth knowledge at the NHL is able to explain that to you, or you're friends with a player from your hometown that has brought the Stanley Cup home and you were lucky enough to be part of one of their backyard parties, celebrations, bar crawls, pub crawls, or boat tours if you're from Florida. Number 5, do hockey players have to be a little bit crazy to play this game? Yes, very crazy to play this game. This is an extremely tough game. There is a lot to be said about the camaraderie and the friendships that you gain in that room, but it is a ruthless game. Players compete from age 3 all the way to age 14 to find spots on the best teams in the world, especially in North America. And right now I'm speaking for the United States and Canada. In Europe, it may be a little bit different. But at 15, if you are a very good hockey player, you are leaving home never to return. You'll be sent to a prep school away where you will be boarded with a family that is likely not yours. Now, your family has the right to follow you, but usually have jobs and commitments back home. and the player will only be home for a couple weeks in the summer and maybe 1 week in the winter. You have to grow up fast when you play this game. You will also be paired and partnered with teammates between the ages of 15 and 20. So you'll have teenagers hanging out with adults. I understand they're all teenagers, but 18 being the age of majority in most places in terms of how you vote, it is such a unique experience for a player and can force you to grow up really quickly. It can also put you in some very troubling, dangerous, and harmful situations, and it has happened to many, many players. You don't have to agree with it, but it does show the little bit of crazy you have to be to join a system like this. And we haven't even yet talked about the game. The game itself is wild. You are a tool in the belt of the coach, like a drill or a hammer, in order to do a job. One day you may be the belle of the ball. The next day you may be a healthy scratch in the stands, and you have to grind through it. Nobody is giving you a free pass. Nobody is giving up their roster spot. Nobody is going out there to protect you. You must protect yourself. You must grow up quickly, and you must find a way through the violence to see the beauty in the game and excel. We block shots at 100 miles an hour, life and limb. That is part of the game. There is fighting. There is big hits, both in the front and behind. And we all know about game management and referees. They aren't out there to protect you. Nobody is your friend. It is just you. So yes, you have to be a little bit crazy to play this game. Number 6. Why do hockey players grow beards in the playoffs? Simply due history, tradition, team bonding. Growing a beard in the playoffs and not shaving is an old tone of superstition where you never want to change what's working. If you continue to win, change nothing. Same breakfast, same dinner. Sometimes even players will wear the same clothes. Do not shave, do not change anything so you do not put a hex on your team. Some players don't believe in this. Some will shave, some can't grow a beard, but majority of hockey players see this as tradition. Both male and female.
What? Nobody shaves during the playoffs.
Hey, it's just the way it goes. It's the way we're bred. It makes us the great people that we are. You ask the question, you've got the answer. Normally it goes back to history, tradition, and superstition. But the fun point of this is, if you don't think hockey has a large amount of luck involved in the game, even the players say you're wrong. See the beards that they grow. Number 7. Can the puck or the players break the plexiglass? The answer is yes. I was surprised to see this one come up. It creates some of the most awe-inspiring highlight reel moments out there. Players can be body checked through these, and a puck can shatter it on a hard shot. The wild thing is, if you haven't been to an arena to see one of these, they will have it replaced and cleaned up within the TV timeout. It is quite impressive to see. It is very rare, and most of the time, if you are hit through this glass, it does not hurt as much as you think. The hardest part of the ice is the stanchion. When you go into it, it can be very dangerous. It can hurt. The other hardest part is the boards. The glass actually has a lot of bend and play in order to protect players. And bonus fact for this one, it is safer for a player to be closer to the boards than further away. If you are 1 to 2 feet away from the boards, we call this the danger zone, and that is when bad things happen. Number 8. How about the big wave off from referees? The big wave off can be used to signal no goal if it's done by a referee, the gentleman with the orange stripe, but it can also be done by the linesman. The referee, well, his title is linesman, the zebra, if you will, without the orange stripe. They use it to signal no icing or wave off icing in case the puck does cross the red line all the way down to the other end, but there was possibly a reason they wanted to wave it off, such as a tip puck, a puck that was playable, or another one of the many reasons linesmen are allowed to wave off icing. The other weird part about hockey and referees is the fact that they use the same hand signal for so many other things. A head referee will put up his hand like so when he is signaling it's the team's time to change. The linesman will also put up his hand in the exact same manner to signal a delayed offside. Number 9, why do NHL players spit so much? This is a disgusting habit, straight up, and it's part of the game. Probably the two most common habits we see in the NHL are players spitting on the bench and players wearing mouth guards out the side of their mouth. Both of these don't really have any reason other than sometimes they're comforting, sometimes it's something the player has just picked up as a nasty habit, and sometimes it's just part of their swagger and flow if you're Mark Scheifele or Matthew Tkachuk. But at the end of the day, it's a physical sport. It's hard. You drink water. You got to get the saliva going. You want to be able to breathe. And they spend a lot of time talking out there. If you're not talking, you're not communicating, you're not playing this game the right way. So there is a lot of spitting. There's a lot of getting phlegm out. It can be a little gross. The cameras tend to try to pan away from this. But as far as the mouth guards on the side of the mouth, it's just weird and it's just kind of funny. And it really isn't helping you because mouth guards are there to prevent concussions. But in the NHL, a mouth guard is still an optional piece of equipment. Although I don't think it should be. Number 10, can an NHL goalie score a goal? Yes, they can. And goalies often do. Although the days of Martin Brodeur and Patrick Waugh, the actual reasons why the trapezoid exists are gone. Goalies will still try to score, and puck handling by goalies is critical. But there's an amazing clip here of Patrick Waugh deking Wayne Gretzky. Goalies can no longer go past the red line, but when the net is empty and the regular season is there, goalies will always try to take a stab at that open net. So there you have it. Top 10 of the weirdest hockey questions we could find according to Google, Reddit, and internet searches. Hopefully you've seen this video as fun, a little bit entertaining, and you got some actual substantive hockey knowledge from this clip as well too. If you want to learn something a little bit deeper and go a little bit further, I have 10 advanced hockey tactics, a much more serious video for you hockey nerds and aficionados to go to right at the end of this video. Feel free to click through. And if that isn't your thing, we can talk power plays, penalty kills, coaching strategies, and line matching all on my channel, backdated in the video package of how to watch hockey.